by Gary Mortimer. This text explores how supermarkets all over the world are promoting the consumption of ugly food. One, consumer-driven food trends are nothing new. Organics, gluten-free, and more recently buying local have all captured consumers, encouraging supermarkets around the globe and in Australia to respond. But the next emerging European food trend that may have the biggest impact on what we buy each week is ugly food. What is the ugly food movement? It is estimated that a third of all the food produced in the world is never consumed, with the total cost of that food waste being as high as 400 billion US dollars a year. In response to the European Commission's plan to make 2014 the European Year Against Food Waste, and the European Union's scrapping of rules that prevented the sale of oddly sized, blemished, or misshapen fruit and vegetables, supermarkets across Europe were quick to respond. The overarching objective of the ugly food movement is to reduce food waste by selling to consumers those fruit and vegetables that would normally be either rejected by supermarket buyers or dumped by farmers. Celebrity adds integrity. 5. How do you market ugly food? The first rule is don't use the word ugly to describe the product. French supermarket Intermarché instead uses the term inglorious fruit and vegetables. United Kingdom retailer Asda promotes wonky fruit and vegetables. And late last year, Australia's largest supermarket retailer, Woolworths, released its Odd Bunch campaign, a replication of the Asda ugly goods strategy, right down to the same celebrity chef. At the same time, another Australian food retailer, Harris Farms, launched its Imperfect Picks range. More recently, Canada's largest supermarket, Loblaws, announced the rollout of its Naturally Imperfect range. Celebrity chef Jamie Oliver has been used by both Asda and Woolworths to help add credibility and consumer interest to the campaigns. How ugly is too ugly? Not all supermarkets have been quick to follow suit, with some instead cautiously approaching this new phenomenon. The UK's largest food retailer, Tesco, regularly supplied misshaped fruit and vegetables to Eastern and Central European stores, but found British consumers consistently demanded better quality. Australian retailers Coles and Aldi have remained silent on whether they will implement such a program. It's too early to tell whether this foray into ugly food will be a resounding success for supermarket retailers. Woolworths and other Australian supermarkets may struggle to get Australian shoppers on board. After many years of produce buyers rejecting blemished and oddly shaped produce, Australian shoppers have been conditioned to expect only the very highest levels of freshness, quality, and aesthetics. 1. The benefits of a Taste Not Waste campaign. Supermarkets that have effectively launched an ugly food program have gained from both a perceived positive corporate social responsibility position and increased sales. Intermarché gained strong public support during the initial launch of its Inglorious Fruit and Vegetable campaign, selling 1.2 tons of misshaped fruit and vegetables across its stores in just 2 days, receiving a 24% increase in foot traffic, 3.6 million views on YouTube, and over 500,000 Facebook likes. Being able to provide lower-priced fresh fruit and vegetables to low socioeconomic consumer groups while promoting healthy eating is also a positive outcome for both retailers and shoppers. Ultimately, an ugly food program is a win-win for all those in the supply chain: growers, retailers, and consumers. It also allows supply chain costs to be reduced. Ugly produce would normally be transported from the farm gate to the market, only to be rejected, then transported back and disposed of. Now, such produce can be accepted, albeit at a lower buy price, and sent on to stores as an ugly food alternative. This reduces costs to farmers, supermarkets, and eventually shoppers. A cautionary note. Assuming retailers are successful in convincing consumers of the merits of ugly food, the strategy could create price pressure across the category. From a shopper's perspective, when provided a choice of loose, somewhat misshaped carrots at a low price versus perfectly presented, aesthetically pleasing, high-priced carrots, will shoppers simply switch to the cheaper option? Will price discounted, lower quality produce reduce waste? Some say no. If campaigns to promote taste over waste are successful on a grand scale, there could be unintentional consequences for farmers. Consider the grower who has invested heavily in agriculture infrastructure and processes to ensure their potatoes meet very high standards set by supermarkets, only to find the market has now shifted to the ugly alternative. Finally, the alleged power of the major supermarkets has come under increasing criticism and inquiry. Potentially, the ugly food movement could inadvertently create a market where supermarket buyers are able to set very low buy prices for subjectively imperfect fruit and vegetables, with the alternative being to reject